Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Even if they stopped making video games right now, we still wouldn't reach the end. Come back with me to a simpler time, the beginning of October 1982, to play some video games. Hey, what's that on the TV? It's Pac-Man! The second episode!
Pac-Man. That's me.
Look at that, it's Pac-Man on the TV, the animated series.
Oh, I must have those power pellets.
Wait, who is that guy?
Power pellet bonus.
He has to get the power pellets, I guess. Oh, they even have the whole family here. That's right, it's Pac-Man. It's on the TV right now. The second episode should be airing, and we just saw the first episode at the end of September. And I'm sure if you're a Pac-Man fan, like most people were at the time, that you saw this cartoon. If you didn't have Pac-Man at home, though, what would you play? Our very next title is on the Apple II, because there's plenty of Pac-Man-like games out there. This one is our next one. This is Serpentine. Let's check it out. On the Apple II home computer. So here we go. On the Apple II, Serpentine is the latest by Broderbund. This marks the 29th game we've played by Broderbund, and I'm including all ports. Every game and port, it's all right here. They call it a high-res arcade-style game by David Snyder. Way to go, David. Last thing we saw by David Snyder was David's Midnight Magic, that pinball game. He doesn't have in the title here. They don't call it David's Serpentine here. But cool box. You can see the front. It's got some nice artwork giving us, honestly, it looks like fantasy vibes, like we're going to play a role-playing game. But if you pop in the disc, it's going to be a little different than that. Flip it over the back, and it has a little story of, oh man, it has actual lore. It's an arcade-style game designed and coded by David Snyder. It requires 48K on your Apple II or II Plus, and a joystick if you have a joystick, and we do. Very nice. There's the 5 1/4 floppy disk. We're going to pop into our Apple II to play Serpentine. This is the very first time we've seen Serpentine. The release. There's an example of the screenshot. We also have the manual or the inside sleeve. There's the controls if we use keyboard, and it's just a wall of text. Not too flashy for the manual. You can push the button for to start with joystick control or K for keyboard, but it explains the game. You're going to be playing as a serpent that's supposed to swallow all the other serpents. They're going to lay eggs, and we'll be seeing all this as we get the game booted up. There's the score value that we're going to need to follow to get the high score. Extra serpents are rewarded after 20,000 points, then 50,000 every time after that. And we have the special keys usually on the Apple II. Do we have the turn-off sound? Yeah, we do. On the Apple II, the earlier titles, we weren't really able to turn off the sound unless you just, unplug the system. But now they added it. Thanks, Broderbund. They're thinking of the common man. All right, let's pop in and play some Serpentine. This is David Snyder, published by Broderbund in the beginning of October 1982. All right, this marks our 386th game we've played on the Apple II. And we're not done yet. Already has a nice presentation. Oh man, this does look really nice. Color-wise and arcade-wise on the Apple II is really nice. Okay, so we can decide how we want to play, keyboard or joystick. We're going to push button 0, and let's go. It has the top-down arcade maze genre of game, but it is doing something that's not exactly like Pac-Man. All right, so I'm controlling the blue snake that you see in the top of the screen, and I'm supposed to be taking out the other snakes. If you try to eat their head, then you die. So you're trying to get yourself to bite their tails, and the frog that drops down makes your snake increase in size, like classic snake-style games. So you eat Frogger, and you get longer. All right, go all the way. Yes, take him out, and then you work your way around. So this is essentially like Pac-Man, just combining Pac-Man and Snake. We originally saw this in the arcade as Jungler by Konami in 1981. Uh-oh, it's once hatching. Can we eat it? Good. Get those eggs out of here. Oh, you know what I really enjoy is the fact that I can move back and forth. Notice that I don't eat myself like some of the other Snake games we played. So don't let them grab your tail, and then let's see if we can take this one out the top. Eat the egg, nice. And you see we got longer and longer because we ate more of the frogs. I wonder if that's a way for them to say Frogger isn't as good as this game because we're eating frogs. Got him. Nice. And level 1 is complete. Do we move on to level 2 now, or does it keep looping? Oh, okay, it's auto-controlling. The snake's returning over in the bottom right of the screen. So it goes back home, and then now it boots up level 2. Got a new maze. Oh, nice. Very nice. Yeah, that's right. There's no shooting. Does my... Yeah, it's only the movement of the joystick that I have, so my button doesn't do anything. Oh, but yeah, if you touch the head of the snake, it's all over. Only other game we've seen that plays like this, was combining Snake and Pac-Man, was Caterpillar on the Atari home computer. We gave that one above average rating of all the games you could play, because this is pretty rare to be able to play a game like this. But it's still essentially Pac-Man, but you have to admit, this is really fun, and this is done very well. Especially if you love the sound effects of the Apple II, because they really hit it home on this one. I might even stay small. I wonder if that's the strategy so you can get through this easier. Wait, what happened? Did I touch... Oh, did he turn around? Because I'm pretty sure I was falling behind him. I call shenanigans. Yeah, this is pretty fun, Mark. So what do we do with that green thing? Let's go take this out. Got it, okay. Oh, okay, it just increased the size of us. And then Frogger's jumping all over the place. Looks like we can only eat the eggs if they're cracked. It won't let us eat the eggs if they're solid like that. Oh, and if the enemy eats Frogger, they increase in size too. We've already played plenty of Frogger-style games, but I'll even go higher than that. This is essentially what we call the arcade maze game, which, you know, you're just taking a maze and it's giving you the idea of like a Tank or Pac-Man, any one of those games that's the fixed screen from the top-down view like this. And yeah, so this is the more than likely the jungler game. That's the only one we've seen so far. And then Caterpillar Piggle. So there's not a lot of games out there right now that are this exact genre, mixing two together. We made our way to level 3, but yeah, Serpentine presentation's great. Plays really well too. Oh, those are the ones I laid manually. I didn't even recognize my own offspring, and I'm trying to eat them. All right, let's keep going this way. And I guess you could consider Casey's Crazy Chase, because that was the combination of Pac-Man or KC Munchkin with Snake, but they really didn't have the Snake idea, you know, growing longer and longer. Oh man, so you got to really think of a different way to match your patterns up. Let's see if we can do it here. And see where they're going. See how he's eating my tail? Now look, we're just going in circles. And you're going to get shorter and shorter. So yeah, really, really fun. Awesome. Yeah. If you love Pac-Man games and arcade-style games, this would be a real treat right now. The thumping almost seems ominous that's in the background. Nope, they trapped me in, and there you go, game over. You're a Serpentine hero! Cool, you can type our initials in just like it's the arcade. Look at that. Oh, and it keeps the high score table. Oh, fantastic. Great job for the Apple II. Way to go, Broderbun, and way to go, David Snyder. Yeah, that's awesome. So there's a quick taste of Serpentine. Right now, being that we played quite a bit of games that are like this on the home computer, this is going to be released, and we're going to see other games that mix Snake and Pac-Man together. But right now, it's still kind of a fresh idea. This is going to be seen before we end 1982 on the VIC-20 and the Atari home computer. I think we're going to see sometime in October. But then next year, this is also on the Commodore 64 and on PC Booter. So at this point, this is pretty good. Of all the games you could play, I'm looking over the chat. Yep, I see 3.5 to 4 stars. It's excellent. Of all the games you could play right now on a home computer, yeah, I see a 4-star and a 3.5. Yeah, good graphics and fun. Yeah, so honestly, I'm going to go and go 4. Of all the games you could play right now, this is great. A very, very well done game and lots of fun. If you can't get official Pac-Man or real Pac-Man during Pac-Man Fever, then games like this are what's going to satiate you. Yeah. I wouldn't say average. I'd say this one's done a little bit better, quality-wise and presentation-wise. All right, with that, let's see what our next title is.
Big plans? You bet.
Coming up next is The Snapper. We're going to first check out the Atari home computer release.
Big plans?
Let's take a look at the box. Can you survive The Snapper? I don't know. Take a look at that artwork, though. Very well done for a computer box. It is sci-fi, and it's like a world that I haven't experienced or seen before on any other game. But it also looks like, is that a screenshot from Dallas? Maybe because he has the cowboy hat? I'd love to know. This has to have lore behind it, but very well done in front of the box. Way to go, Silicon Valley Systems, for that one. Flip it over the back, and as the clock ticks down, the game begins, and danger closes in. It's the Snapper. To survive, you have to leave the base in search of the blots. The more blots you eat, the more points you make. And then it's not a lot of lore. It's pretty much telling you what the arcade or action is going to be like. That's what it looks like, Manly. It's awesome. Very nice. Okay, there you go. There's a 5.25 floppy disk. If you did have that on the Atari home computer, I prefer the cartridge if we can get it. We also have the manual or inside sleeve. It's, again, just a wall of text explaining how to play the game. We need an Atari 400 or 800 with 16K of RAM, and we got it. You can also do 1 or 2 joysticks, but you can't play at the same time. So it's very similar to other games that are playing like the arcade. You're going to alternate play. It shows you how to play, start the game up. You're presented with the title of the screen, and if 2 people play, yeah, you have to share the same joystick or separate joysticks. Very nice. The grid is explained here, and all the enemies are also explained in the manual. The Snapper, that's who we're playing as, which looks kind of like the character you play in Asteroids. And then the Whirler, the Gamma Field, really looks like Kix. You know, the Kix enemy or the bad guy. And then we have the blots in the base. The whole point of the game is to clear the different blots that you need or pick them up, and then you go to the next map. Game will restart at any time. So it seems pretty simple. You can go in more depth of the manual if you wanted to. All right, let's pop in and play The Snapper. This is by Dave Sanders, published by Silicon Valley Systems. Only games we've seen by them were Creepers, very, very strange game, and Final Exam, another very strange game, totally different. Nice. And I believe this is the first we've ever seen by Dave Sanders. All right, so the whole title screen lets you control everything with a joystick. So do I want 1 or 2 players? And if I move the joystick left and right, I can pick 1 or 2. Since I'm the only one here and it's alternate play, I'm going to push down. When you push down on the joystick, it goes to the next option, which is skill level. So I'm not having to push the select button on my Apple or Atari computer and not push the option button on my Atari computer. It's all with the joystick, which is kind of nice. Okay, we'll do skill level 1, game speed 1, and then hit that red button to go, and we're in. Nice. So I'm playing as the Snapper. It looks like I'm essentially the asteroid character, but I'm moving my mouth in and out like Pac-Man. And you go around picking up the different blots. There's the Kix enemy. If he touches you, then you're dead, so you just have to avoid him. And if you make it to the grids on the end, then you go to the next level. But I think you have to pick up a certain number of blots before you can make it to the next one. Oh, it looks like they changed up the maze now. I have an area that is... Look at this, I go really fast down the long line. What's wrong with the enemy? It's going really slow. Or it actually looks... That actually kind of shows you how impressive Kix was if the enemy was that smooth in the arcade. And then here you can see it's just chugging on the Atari home computer. So they're keeping track of my blots and then what I need to pick up next. It's essentially another take on Pac-Man. This is very fresh though. Something we haven't seen that it almost feels like I'm playing Amadar or a grid capture game, but I'm really not capturing anything. They're just having me move around squares instead of it's still a maze, but it doesn't feel like the same kind of maze with Pac-Man. That's good, Pow Puck. I like that one too. Yeah, that's true. If Pepper 2, well, if it was allowing me to like capture the areas, but it's not. So it's not necessarily like Pepper 2. But yeah, I see what you mean, Chiptune. Sound effects are constant. Doesn't feel as quaint or charming as you play an actual arcade game now. But it is worlds better than the Apple II sound effects. There we go. All right, ring in the center. Go, go, go. If I can get to him. It looks like it's being overrun. Oh, it wouldn't let me go up. I'll try it again. And the enemies moving on the outside remind me of the enemies of Kix. So it's like this took inspiration from Kix and Pac-Man. It's just another reason I love doing this show is seeing game after game. When you play them in order, they just take elements from other games, and then you get to be able to experience whatever crazy child comes out of the marriage of two different genres. All right, so we have we're back to the title screen. Let's go game level 1, skill, game, and go. I don't think we officially made it to the next level. Yeah, because it still says round 0 at the top, but that's because we said that's what we want our skill level to be. So it has the enemy that looks like Kix. It also has the enemies that walk on the line that look like Kix, but it doesn't play like that. It's not where I have to capture a certain number of areas or squares and draw certain things in. Oh no, it's coming! Is it home in my position? Because I need to get out of there. Or does it just bounce off? There we go, nice. All right, we'll keep going. Stay alive. I know, it moves so slow. It feels like the enemy is pushing the limits of the Atari home computer. And bear in mind, official Kix hasn't come home. What, we ran out of time? I didn't know we were following a time limit. We've seen official Pac-Man come to home computers. It's currently only on the Atari home computer. So this one I'm on the fence about. We played lots and lots of Pac-Man variants, or not even to be as specific. Pac-Man games originated from the arcade maze style of game, and at this point we've played 262 games that are like the arcade maze game. And so far, the best of those kinds of games that you could play on a home computer right now would be Ghost Hunter on the Atari home computer, Blasto on the Texas Instruments 994A, Getaway, which was also on the Atari home computer, Laugh Pack included on the Apple II, then of course the actual official Pac-Man on the Atari home computer. Yeah, so it has a time limit. It means I need to get out of here before it goes down. Also, Bezman was also on the Apple II, which is very well done. Crossfire is another one that has the shooting element. Car Wars, which is more like the Sega game. Head On. And then, of course, you have other maze games like Hungry Horse that are out there right now. Jelly Monsters on the Commodore VIC-20. Labyrinth, Marauder, Snack Attack, and Snoggle. All those play like the arcade maze game, so there's a lot of competition that this one plays against. This one feels a little slower going, and it doesn't feel like since it's slower, it doesn't feel as fun. Oh, okay, so if I pick a faster speed, I'd be able to go, let's go crank this sucker up and see what the performance is like. If we go to top speed, we'll probably die really fast. All right, here we go. One player. Skill level. What's the max? It's going all the way to 9. Okay, let's do skill level 9. And then, oh, we can do skill level. Let's do skill level 5. And then game speed. Let's crank game speed to 9. There we go. Here we go. Ready? Max speed and go. Okay, I take it back. The game is not slow. It was just on the slow game speed. Yeah, enemies seem to be smarter too. And when you pick up enough, you should be able to exit, right? Yeah, so can't exit yet. It tells you how many blots you need to pick up for the next round. Okay, looking good. The kicks-like enemy still doesn't seem like that's moving very fast. The other enemies, though, around the grid are. No, stay away. Oh, I can't believe I dodged it. How did I do that? And there you go. You make it to the next one. It looks like I'm on round 122. Okay, there you go. So now I need 6 blots, 4. Let's go ahead and make our way up to the top here. Let's go to the center here. I can't go... Oh, does this... That track, whenever you hit on the... When you start on the green track, it takes you in one direction. And you can't do anything after that. So the maze is a little bit confusing. You have some areas that allow you to move in different hallways, but then if you're on the green path, you have to stay on that path. So it's a little bit of a learning curve to play the snapper. So now I know what they mean. To survive, you have to really understand more of the mechanics of the game, because it's adding more than just a usual Pac-Man game. Yeah, that's right. It's like a slide. Good point, Manly. There you go. There's a taste of the Snapper. Of all the games you can play right now on a home computer, this is still well done. It's a very, very good game. It's trying to do a little too much, and you have to follow the manual, which is kind of different than a Pac-Man game. Pac-Man, you want to just be able to jump down and play it, so it's not quite exactly like a Pac-Man title. So it's still around the 3.5 to 4-star range. I'm going to say because it's offering the game modes, it has the presentation, it's still very well done, but it feels like it needs a little bit of more polish to complete it. I'm looking over the chat, yeah. The options and nuance are there as well. Yeah, it's still good. Yeah, I'll still say, we'll say 4 stars still. Of all the games you could play on a home computer, the Snapper is still a fun one. All right, but that is not all. Let's also check out the Snapper for the Apple II. More of the Snapper in your life. We survived the Snapper on the Atari home computer. Let's try to survive it on the Apple II. The box looks pretty much the same. They probably slapped a different sticker on it for the Apple II. Let's see what the Snapper's like on a different home computer. The roaming whirlers were blasted off the grid. It's the gamma field. That's what we got to watch out for. Yes, you're about to enter the Snapper zone, a lifetime guarantee. Where's the story, though? I want to know what's going on behind the front of the box. There's our 5 1/4 floppy disk. We'll pop into the Apple II. That's right, Manly. Here we go. Let's pop into play the Snapper. This is again by Dave Sanders, published by Silicon Valley Systems, the beginning of October 1982. All right, so this one does not use the controller only to do the option menu. I actually have to select it. If you do 2 players, it's still alternate play. Slightly different user interface here. So we got skill level to start. Let's go ahead, since we're a little bit better at Snapper, let's go skill level 4. And then, wait a second, there's no speed. Joystick? Interesting. Only the Atari has speed. So I wonder, this means we only have 1 speed for the game. Here we go. Ready? And spacebar to start. And it's loading us up. Nice. All right, we're in. A little bit slower moving. I'm looking at the gamma field to see if it has anything different. Oh, and it already got me. You can't get anywhere near the gamma field. It will kill you. Still a cool idea. It's like sci-fi Pac-Man. We've already seen a couple games that are like that. But at this point, we played Pac-Man style games that are scrolling the screen. They're not staying on one fixed screen like the classic arcade games. And there you go. Round is done. So it is only 1 speed, not as many options as the Atari. It doesn't feel like it's necessarily chugging or pushing the Apple II. And whenever you pick up enough blots, then it allows you to go to the exit or one of the exit fields. Cool. So even right now, while there's official Pac-Man on the Atari home computer, this would still be a really fun game to have. All right, let's see if we can avoid it. I think one more. All right, let's go to the base. Quick, quick, quick. So they always start you out with the first level that you don't really need to pick up that many blots. Just get to the base. And then as you progress level to level, they increase the number of blots you have to pick up before you get to the end. Yeah, it almost reminds me of the Digger Bonk game we played. It had lots of elements in the game, and they didn't need to have that much complexity. So we have seen even more complex games than this, but it does seem like this is trying almost too much or too many things. But it would still be fun. Because at this point, if you had played Pac-Man and several iterations of Pac-Man, like we have, with playing every Pac-Man, this would be fresh and fun. And that's what it feels like to me. Here on the Apple II, it doesn't have the same speed option, so hitting at this speed still feels a little bit off. Like, notice whenever I'm moving, my animation is chomping. And so, we can pick up this blot and go. Let's go. So it almost feels like I'm creeping along at a slower pace for this one. That's right, Chiptune, the sound effects. Most of the Apple II games we played previously to this, it almost sounds like they have constraints, like they can't program the Apple II sound or music, but I mean, this sounds excellent. It's rare cases that the Apple II has really good sound effects or music. It's the exception, but the rule is usually... Okay, now we're getting into interesting territory, because when you start the path of the green side, you can't... Look at this, I can't change my direction. I have to follow this all the way. Yeah, it puts me on a track where I can't make changes. So you have to think of that as you move around the maze. After all the games we played on home computers and the arcade games that have come on home computers, this is still pretty fun. For the Apple II one, I think I'm going to bring this one down just a notch. It felt like it was playing a little bit smoother. The controls were a little more responsive on the Atari home computer. So Silicon Valley Systems, every title we've seen so far that they've done was only on the Atari home computer. So I think that the programmers were a little bit better at understanding that home computer. Here on the Apple II, it feels like it's not as refined, just slightly. But man, still cool. Still so many games that are like Pac-Man or arcade maze games. So this is the 263rd game that plays like the top-down arcade maze game. It's amazing. So yeah, I'm going to say just slightly below. While the Snapper was the quintessential or best one, I'll say 3.5 stars here on the Apple II for the Snapper. The Apple II is capable of so much more, but you got to admit what they do with the Apple II is excellent. I'm looking over the chat, yeah, and I see 3.5, and that's a great point. If we didn't play the Atari home computer version, this version of the Snapper would have been, awesome. It would have been great. But because we know there's another version out there, and because we know about all the other titles that do this top-down maze game or Pac-Man style maze game, there's a lot of other games that you could be playing that enhance this. They're excellent. And this is still really good. The Snapper is fun. All right, it's time to put our video game playing on pause. That's all the time we have this episode of Chronologically Gaming. Next time on Chronologically Gaming, a game that tries to play like Missile Command, a game trying a fresh take on Pac-Man again, and an old favorite from 1974 on the TRS-80 color computer. That's it for today, and like I always say, 1,000,000 to 1 odds against you is not a problem. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.